UFC 110, Mirko Cro Cop vs Anthony Perosh. You know something, guys? I think Mirko Cro Cop is back. And I'm going to tell you why. Listen closely to what I have to say. He took this fight on just 1 day's notice. And not only that, he also took the fight on 1 day's notice and also took on a completely different type of fighter. Now listen closely to what I have to say. The guy who was supposed to fight was Ben Rothwell. Ben Rothwell is a big, strong, pure striker. He's a good fighter, has a good record. And he was training for a while to fight this particular guy, like anybody else trains. When they train, they don't just train for their physical condition and what they usually do and what they specialize in with their skills. They train for the guy. The fighter Ben Rothwell is a striker. Now, Rothwell canceled a day before the fight. 1 day. And somehow they got a replacement to fight Cro Cop the very next day. But the replacement was not a striker, it was a wrestler. Completely different fighter. A wrestler is totally different than a striker. They're looking to take you down, looking to take things on the ground, do things differently. If you're a Cro Cop, you're like, wait a minute, I don't know who this guy is. I can't fight this guy. He's a different type of fighter. I'm not ready. I mean, I think almost anybody would say that. You know, but this was like a day. 1 day's notice. How could you prepare for a fighter? 1 day's notice. But you know what it proves? It proves that Cro Cop is hungry. He was like saying, you know what? I want to face anybody. I don't care who they are. I'm ready. I want to fight. I'll fight anyone, anywhere. And he did. He took the fight. And that means this guy is hungry. And people are questioning that. They said, look, mentally he's just not there. Because if you look at Cro Cop physically, you look at him physically, I mean, I'm telling you, he looks the same as he did 8-9 years ago. The guy is in tremendous physical shape. 35 years old is not old. A lot of people are in their prime fighting at 35. Just look at Anderson Silva. Look at Hendo. You know, these guys are just are very good. It can actually help you as long as you keep your body up and you take care of yourself and you do what you have to do to keep your skills fresh. Then you know you can still keep on fighting. And one thing that gets better is experience, because the experience just adds up and that helps you. You learn more. You could do more things. So I think he's back. That's my personal opinion. I mean, because of the fact that he was able to take the fight and also perform. And I'm going to talk about that. Let's discuss the fight. He basically controlled the entire fight. He was picking this guy, Anthony Perosh. He was picking him apart. He was fighting very well. He was very fluid. He does that. He has that stalking position. There's no dancing around with this guy like other boxers do. He just stalks, looks for an opening, and starts to strike, uses his leg kicks, and that's typical Mirko Cro Cop. And there's something more impressive that I really like about Cro Cop. I always did. It's his takedown defense. Probably one of the best. I have to say it, because I remember against the Mark Coleman fight. He fought Mark Coleman purely in his prime. And I've never seen Mark Coleman being toyed with like Cro Cop toyed with him. He couldn't get him down. Coleman usually never had trouble getting anybody down. He got Fedor down. Got a lot of people down. He couldn't get him down. I mean, he has this sense that he knows you're going after him, or even when you do, and he does this sprawl. It's not just takedown defense, it's like a counter that he has. Like, you go for his legs and he just falls on you. It's a sprawl, and then he counters, and then he starts hitting you with those nasty strikes while he's laying on top of you. And what's really interesting about this guy is, being a pure striker, he has submission skills. He actually submitted Kevin Randleman. So, you know, he can do a guillotine, and that's a good position to do it when you're over a guy. So, you know, it's pretty impressive that he's able to do that. He's not an easy guy to take down. The guy's legs are just built like tree trunks. The guy, and he's a very powerful guy. He's a strong guy, hard to take down. The only one thing that I haven't liked about Cro Cop the past few fights, he's just not throwing enough leg kicks. And granted, this fight, maybe it's an exception because he didn't want to even take a chance of being taken down, because his stand-up was doing so well. Maybe that's the reason why you didn't see that many leg kicks. But against a higher profile fighter that's higher up in the ranks, he's going to have to start working with the leg kicks. So that's the only thing that remains to be seen. He looked really good with his hands. He was striking very well. His takedown defense was excellent. It's just I want to see more leg kicks out of this guy. So as far as what's next for Mirko Cro Cop, well, you know what? I think that he still has a long way to go before he's back in the mix again. I would like to see a rematch between him and Congo or even Nogueira. He's fought both of those guys and he lost against both of them. I'd like to see him fight one of these guys again. These are higher profile fighters. See how he does against one of these guys. And, you know, if he can succeed, he's right back in the mix. This guy's a legendary fighter. He can do amazing things in the octagon. So, I mean, it was nice to see him back again. Nice to see that he was dominant. I would like to know what you guys think about Cro Cop. Would like to know what you thought about his performance today and what you think should be next for Mirko Cro Cop. So let me know by leaving comments below the video. Remember to subscribe, and thank you for tuning in.